All right, welcome back to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. I'm going to be your host today, Randy Angston, joined in studio by Mr. Zach Columbia.
Back again.
Well, obviously, I mean, you've taken a role as a coach here on the Profit side. You've been spending a lot more time working with other gym owners and business owners with us over here, and stepping outside of the four walls of the gym for a little bit. So, welcome. I hope you're enjoying this seat as well.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Good. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about semi-private training, transitioning to
Yes.
semi-private training.
Oh yeah, we did have a good little chat about this. So obviously, you listening, this is something that Tim and I have done for a number of years here in Profit, helping gyms transition or implement a better semi-private deliverable in their fitness facility. It has been kind of our mission. I mean, we've put our flag in the ground for probably 400 episodes. If it doesn't continue past the years before that we've had the belief, but semi-private is the sweet spot for training in our belief that gives both the client the greatest results possible for their spend. The facility's making great money and happy to do it and serve those clients at that level. But we've been teaching gyms how to either layer that service in or just do that service better within their business. Zach has been in this seat in Legacy, running the semi-private program for years now, and so he's been a crucial position in the Profit coaching program from more of a logistics aspect. So now you have a voice here as well. But we're going to get into it. We're going to dive into kind of what it takes to. We're going to highlight kind of semi-private as a deliverable, talk about transitioning into it, and then really how to do it well and really differentiate yourself from even competition in your own town that's doing semi-private perhaps. So before we dive into kind of, the nuts and bolts and how to really make it everything that it is, why don't we dive in and kind of preface what semi-private is? Because there's even some nuances in the industry. I talk with gym owners and they themselves aren't necessarily clear on semi-private versus, let's say, a small group training or, just a restricted numbers format that others have implemented in the past.
Very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very important because there's really three different training models, right? One-on-one, obvious, right? One coach, one client. Large group, and then semi-private training.
And what do we define kind of?
I should say group. I was going to say because the way most gyms are doing semi-private training is they're just doing group with less people.
And when you say group, are you talking what?
Everybody's doing the same exact workout.
Medcon, similar, high intensity focus,
or the absolute worst thing. I'll just say, we'll get this out of the way right now. The absolute worst thing that you can do is group strength training. You just shot yourself in the foot because you just devalued your what would differentiate semi-private training from a large group model.
And you're doing it in a way that's probably not very good for your clients.
It's not good for your honest. It's not good for your clients. It's really bad for your business.
Yes.
Right. So
we'll start with that one. All right. So don't do strength training in large numbers.
Don't do strength training in large numbers or in small numbers where everybody's doing the exact same thing, because then there's not enough value in that. You're just running a boot camp, a class essentially with less people, and you're basically limiting. You're putting a ceiling on what you can charge for that, the value to the client, all of that.
Well, we'll get into that towards the end a little bit, but
semi-private training.
Yep,
it's personal training done in a setting where a coach works with multiple clients at the same time.
The way that I articulate it with our clients, and you might like it too, is it's individualized programming in a shared cost environment.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's super simple for them to understand, right?
Exactly.
I'm getting one-on-one type training, but I'm sharing the time of a trainer.
I get the individual attention of personal training.
Yep.
The programming, the individual attention, and I get the camaraderie, sense of community, the energy of large group training combined.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
It's the sweet spot. It's the sweet spot for the client because, like you said, there's lower cost for them. They're getting the same quality, or in our case, better than they would in a one-on-one environment.
Yep, I would agree.
Okay. And then for the business, it's the revenue model, the potential for revenue for the model is phenomenal. And gyms everywhere are catching on to this,
Yes.
right? We've been saying this for a long time now. Now it's like I did a search on Instagram the other day for like I just typed in semi-private training.
Yeah.
The list was huge, right? We offer this, we offer this, we offer this. That never used to be the case. 5 years ago, that wasn't the case, right? Everybody is catching on to the fact that like, hey, I need less members and I make more money and I deliver a better service and my clients stay longer. Why wouldn't we offer that?
Absolutely.
So it's a win across the whole entire board for everybody.
Yeah, one of the biggest things too, and again, you might be listening and you're like, well, I do one-on-one training. I make $100, per client per session, and again, that can be great if you were working, with just those one people, the one individual, and you only had a handful of them. That was all you needed. In other words, most one-on-one trainers that I know are working 13, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, trying to make a livable wage because their time is dependent upon their income is dependent upon the time that they're serving. The way that, yes, the business might make $100 per hour per one person, but in a semi-private setting, we're working with 6 individuals in 1 hour.
Yep.
And that session value might be $40 per person, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you've got 6 to 1, we're making $240 an hour compared to that 100. So that's the math that we talk about all the time. That's, guys, we just condensed 6 hours of deliverable from a one-on-one trainer to 1 hour, and they're making $240 instead of $100.
Yeah.
That's a math win through and through. From a business standpoint, that's the reason that we look at this logically and say, hey, this has greater opportunity for us as a business to serve more people, earn more money in less time, and that's the reason semi-private wins. So let's just from a math logical standpoint, that's why.
Okay, so yeah, exactly, right. So I guarantee there's people listening to this right now going like, I can't transition, right? I can't transition. So here's the thing, right? You want to dip your toe in the water of semi-private training and see the potential. Here's how easy it is.
Okay.
You pick 1 hour a day, 4 days a week. So you're going to put 4 hours on your schedule. You, as the gym owner, run it. Okay. You need 10 clients. We charge $99 a week for unlimited training. So 4 hours, 10 clients, that's $50,000 a year, over $50,000 a year that you just added to your business in a semi-private training model.
For 4 hours of delivery a week.
So you're telling, like, is that worth it as the business owner to say like, oh, I don't know if we can transition to this, and just putting it on the schedule, introducing it to your clients and saying, here's this new service that we're just going to beta test. You go to 10 of your clients, you say, hey, do you want in on this? We're going to test it out. Here's, when I'm running it. It's 8 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You as the business owner just added $50,000 with 4 hours a week of your time. That's how easy it is with a semi-private training model.
Just doing some math, guys, because obviously, like, this is how we make decisions for the business. Yes, all of this and the desire and all the emotional, conversation around it. Can you, can't you, all of that has to be rooted in, like, the decision should be rooted in logic at the end of the day, right? So in order to make $50,000 in additional revenue in a large group scenario, you need to add 28 clients at $149 a month to that business in order to make the same growth, $50,000 at the end of the year. Yeah. 28 clients, we're talking about 10.
We're talking about 10, and we're talking about 4 hours a week, right? And that's why I say, as the business owner, like, do it yourself, because like, make the investment yourself. It doesn't require any more staffing, right? You don't have to eliminate that out of the equation, right? And with our model, it takes 3.5 coaches to service 200 clients at $99 a week and make $1 million a year. Boom, done, right? But we can worry about that later.
Easy,
we can worry about that later on. Right now, it's like, well, I don't know if this is going to work for me or not. Take 4 hours of your time for $50,000 a year, do it, introduce it to your clients, take 10 of them, charge them $99 a week, and see how it goes. Because I guarantee you that 4 hours a week is then going to go to 8 hours a week, and then is going to go to 16 hours a week, and you're just going to keep growing it on your schedule until it takes over and you eventually phase out And you can easily, if you have a large group model or a one-on-one, you can easily look at your schedule, find the slow time and go, oh, here's where I'm going to offer this service and do it and get 10 clients.
And the reason that you haven't done it yet is because you tell yourself, my clients won't.
Yeah.
The reason that you're still in the seat not doing it is because you tell yourself, my clients won't. And I'm saying this with 100% confidence because every single gym we have worked with that wanted to bring in semi-private has brought it in, successfully transitioned, some of which have moved their entire facility from one-on-one to a semi-private model. 100% of their clientele moved over. That gym owner spent, it was like 3 years sitting on the fence waiting to take action and work with us on that change because my clients won't. That is the number one thing that's keeping you broke and stuck in the seat that you're in. You're miserable because your clients won't. And it's you that believes that, not them.
I mean, even if your existing clients absolutely won't, which they would, but even if you believe that, it's like, how hard is it to go get 10 new clients?
10 new people.
Just offer this new service, run one Facebook ad, get 10 people in the door, sign them up, beta test it, and then you're like, oh, that was worth the $50,000.
Well, let's talk about that because one of the things, Tim and I have had our business accelerator program, right? That's the systems-based coaching that we've done for gyms for years. For a while, we changed the entry, right? Like the marketing of that program to literally switch to semi-private. We had so many gyms coming to us because semi-private's taken off that's what they wanted. And so part of our coaching program was the language and conversation around bringing that in or transitioning that. And so let's talk about kind of how we do kind of make the change in the business. You've mentioned like it's as easy as starting with that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to talk about is kind of the conversation and the whether it be the marketing aspect or how to differentiate it, from your other services that you're providing, because this is obviously equally as important. So one of the things that I talk about with clients when they're making that transition or when we're bringing in semi-private and they're already doing one-on-one or group or something different is there's three groups of people to talk to. And most gym owners are always worried because they're like, oh, my current clients are going to leave me. Well, yeah, that's 1/3 of the people you have to talk to. And it's probably even less if you look at the number of people, right? So right off the bat, you've got past clients. Right now, if you do what Zach said and you have 4 hours on your schedule and you need 10 people, go to your past client list and incentivize them to come try your new service, something that you didn't have available to them at the time they left. It's a better vehicle, greater results, affordable. You know what I mean, right? If we're comparing it to one-on-one personal training, it's less cost, equal, if not greater result or delivery. And then position them with some sort of incentive to come back and earn their business again, right? Their past clients, you've built a like, trust, and respect factor. They've already had some exchange of value with you in the past. The relationship exists. This is warm traffic in a way. Pitch them on coming back and trying it. Right, well, even if it's a discounted rate, or give it away maybe for a few 2 weeks or a week or maybe 30 days. Let them experience that new service, because I guarantee if they're going to come and they're going to show up and you do your job, they're going to enjoy that training.
Yeah, and once they left your business, they probably weren't doing anything anyway.
And that's the whole thing. It's as simple as a
majority probably weren't working out at all, so it's worth reaching out to those
people.
Mrs.
Johnson. It's been a while since we talked. I hope you found a new home for your fitness journey. If you haven't, I wanted to introduce you to our new semi-private program. This is something we didn't have at the end of our previous relationship. We'd love to have the opportunity to earn your business once again. Here is blank, right? Position the offer and let Mrs. Johnson come back to you and earn her business again. But that's a quick, easy way of finding kind of low-hanging fruit to start and get some of those positions filled in your semi-private program. From there, 2 more groups. We've got our current clientele and our never been clients. So next step, I would go right to your current clientele and I'd incentivize them, right? They're doing some sort of training with you, probably team training or one-on-one, neither of which is the same as the semi-private. So rather than expecting them to just jump into something new, expose them. Give them the ability to try it. I don't know if you guys are still implementing it, but the rolling 5 that you've had here, we talked about the rolling 5. Take 5, go to your team and say, what are the 5 clients that they feel can benefit from this delivery as opposed to the training that they're in. Maybe you're doing semi-private, and again, we're getting deeper into the weeds, but maybe it's a frequency. Maybe someone's coming 1 or 2 times a week and they should be coming 2 or 3 or unlimited, right? Find those 5 people, identify them in your organization, and then give them an offer to come try the new service in your business. Earn their business. Everybody's always like, well, do I put time on the schedule or do I try and sell that and then I put the time on this? I go, nobody's going to buy shit that doesn't exist, right? Like you have to have some time on the schedule. You're going to lose some money in the beginning if it might happen. But guys, you're making a transition that's going to fill those buckets. You have to be willing to take some risk and stick your neck out a little bit in order to get that reward. So understand in the beginning, you might not have 4 people in a 4, if you're doing 4 to 1 or 6 to 1, you might not fill those buckets yet, but it'll get there. You have to start. So you got current clients, obviously incentivizing them. With the rolling 5, we take 5 that are likely to benefit from the next level of membership. And we say, hey, you know what? For the next 30 days, why don't you try coming or to our semi-private classes, 2, 3, whatever that next level is. So if they don't have semi-private, they're not doing that already, maybe they're coming 2 times a week. So they're trying a new service. They're exposed to something new. You do it for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, you sit down with Mrs. Johnson and you say, hey, Mrs. Johnson, over the last 30 days, how'd you like your training? You were doing this previously. We've introduced you to something new. Look at the results that you've gained over those 30 days. How about we keep you in there? I know like for a while, Tim was keeping the math on that, and it was about 80% of the members that we exposed to that new level had chose that upgrade. That's huge. Yeah. If think about an 80% conversion for a gym who didn't have that deliverable before. You've now got 80% of the people you've exposed to it that have moved into that new deliverable. That is the goal. So past clients, current clients, and then never been. Your marketing, right? Yep. This is where it's going to take us to the end because we're going to get into kind of the nitty gritty on how to make your semi-private really stand out in the marketplace. But ultimately, your marketing, much like Tim and I talk all the time, Zach, and everything we run here, we don't talk about the delivery of how many sessions you're getting in a trial and the cost and all of these things in your marketing. We're talking to the avatar client that we want. And it doesn't matter what we sell at the end of the day. We market differently. And we can teach you how to do that as well. But if you're going to market your item as a commodity and you're going to put a value for the number of sessions and what they get and all that type of thing, then your competition is going to be, or your clients and market is going to shop you and your competition.
Well, and it's easy, right? Because like the clients don't know what they want or need.
No, they just come to you as we're the experts.
That's why they come to us. And so when somebody comes in and you say, okay, here's what you need.
Yeah.
And you just line out a plan for them, like, okay, that sounds good. That's it. Like they don't know any different. That's why
we should do that too. Let's do the next podcast is going to be on stop asking your prospects what training service is right for them. Start telling them.
Just here's your plan.
That's what they were looking for. Yep. We're going to go down that rabbit hole next.
Okay.
But ultimately, so the biggest or the one thing we want you to take away from this episode, obviously semi-private as a delivery is the way. Right? We've established that. We've laid it out for you. The math, how to go implement or transition. We've started to dabble there. But now I've got semi-private in my business. The gym opened up down the street and they're going to be doing semi-private. How do I compete? Why don't you give a little insight into that?
Yeah. Well, so I think the can I fit this into my business type of thing is not just about like the time when they're going to do it, how they're going to market it, all that, like a lot of stuff. Gym owners go down a rabbit hole. Like, where are we going to do this? Our facility set up for this. Can we execute on it? Yes, there's a right and a wrong way to do it, but to get started is like, just get started and then you can make improvements along the way, right? It's not going to be perfect right away. Just take some action. That would be the first thing. Okay. Differentiating yourself. Obviously we mentioned this at the beginning. It's not one-on-one. It's not group where everybody's doing the same thing. It's kind of a hybrid of that. It's the individualized programming and it's done in a semi-private setting. So gym owners immediately are like, well, how do we program for that?
Yeah.
What do we do? How do I make everybody's workout different? Train 4, 5, 6 people at a time. Don't overcomplicate it, guys. There's an app for that.
I mean, literally,
that's we created Semi-Private Pro for that reason. You don't have to program. Like you can get the app and your programming's
It's
done.
done. Yeah.
It's done, right?
Yeah.
So really, really easy, straightforward. I mean, don't why reinvent the wheel and worry about it? Like, we create the highest level of customization for a client beyond what I guarantee you're giving to your client in a one-on-one setting. And we do it with 6 people all at once.
On the fly.
On the fly with our app. We create a custom map of their body. We're training specifically to their strengths and weaknesses. Clients come in, we display their workouts on tablets. It's got their name on it. The visual piece of that is very important, right? If I'm coming into your gym and I'm used to doing boot camp where everybody's doing the same exact thing, and I walk in and my name is on like a rack on a tablet with my workout on it, game changer.
That's different than the one 4 feet over that's got somebody else's name with their workout, even though they're training in the same session, right?
Immediately, there's a ton of value in that. Oh, this is built for me, right? This is custom to me. So for your people transitioning from one-on-one, it's like, whoa, all of a sudden now I've got this really cool thing and I'm getting a better service than I had in one-on-one. And then for large group, it's like, oh, now this is individualized for me and I'm getting that individualized attention, right? So that's such a simple thing, is like, show it to your clients, like make visually it look different. And then don't worry too much about, how are we going to design the workouts and all that? Like, I would say just schedule a demo with me. I'll walk you through it. It's really
guys. Just to speak to that, because I mean, I talk to a ton of gym owners, and I can honestly say that I think that programming is probably the if not the number one, it's 1 or 2 on the hang up around people bringing semi-private into their gym. And I can assure you, it's because your programming is the problem. It's your system around programming is too complicated. You don't know your programming well enough, or can't do it well enough to make it a system. It's literally you. And so if you're struggling with the transition to semi-private, it's probably programming. Like Zach said, I mean, it's as simple as an app. I mean, there's a million solutions. Your business and your future and all of that should not be restricted because you can't figure out how to program, a different way. And so it's too simple of a solution to have that be the reason you take no action.
Yeah, and I mean, we did a pre-release of Built to Deliver, which is Tim and I's new book. That is coming out officially on Amazon on the 28th of July. So we'll do a launch there. That walks you through, like, step by step how to program. It goes through the math of the different models and why semi-private's more beneficial, all of that. And then it kind of explains too, like, what the app does. But guys, as far as programming goes, it's like, when somebody subscribes to our app, we give them, like, here's how we, like, our phases of training. Here's how we go from this universal system where every single client's doing the exact same workout to you as the coach or the gym owner, but then to the client, everything is customized. Yeah. The end product is customized for the client. So let's not overcomplicate that piece, but that is a big hang up for a lot of gym owners, is they're like, I don't really know how to program for this and have it be different. It's either everybody's doing the same thing, or our coaching is terrible because a coach is trying to keep up with now 4, 5, 6 different programs all at one time.
Entirely individualized.
Yes, right. So it's like, that's done for you. Don't worry about that piece. But I can't stress enough, just start where you're at, right? Like, roll it out, see the financial benefit of it, and then, like, let's start dialing in all of the things around it to make it look different. And keep in mind that the word is out on semi-private training. Absolutely. It's becoming the norm, I think, in the industry. And soon I think it'll be hard to find one-on-one training, and it'll be hard to find group training. I think the industry is going the semi-private route as a whole. Yeah. And so the question then becomes, like, how do you differentiate yourself and stand out in that ocean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that right now it's probably pretty blue. You know what I mean? But much like, I mean, guys, look at the last 10 years. You know what I mean? 10 years ago, when Orange Theory hit the marketplace, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know when they actually did, but like they almost single-handedly, exploded the team training marketplace, right? Like they shined a light on it, made it kind of cool and in the limelight. And CrossFit did it again with group workouts years ago. I mean, like, the trends of fitness Semi-private is taking off, but it's value based to a degree, right? It's a combination of things. It's not like a new, way of doing it. It's just a way that the arrangement and the agreement with the relationship between us and the marketplace, our consumer, has changed, right? Where it's kind of the best of both worlds. And to Zach's point, this is happening, guys. This will be the future of the majority of fitness facilities. Your adoption of it is going to depend on your success. Your success is going to depend on your adoption. You can resist all of this, and you can be the last guy out there that says, you know what, maybe now I do fall on the sword and I transition and I go do semi-private because I have to, because nobody else wants anything else. Or you can be the guy who's leading the charge and be the first in your locale to be that delivery in the marketplace. And literally, I had the conversation the other day. Gentleman's in Maine. It's the only option out there. He's transitioning. He wants to transition with us through semi-private. He's going to be the only gym in the entire area, not even town, that offers semi-private.
It's better to be early.
Hell yeah,
it's better to be early 100%. To anything, right?
Exactly, right? And so that's kind of what I wanted to push for this is like this is your opportunity. If you're on the fence about this and you haven't taken action, if you haven't pulled out a calendar or a schedule and figured out when and how to get started, right now is your opportunity. Jump on a call with us. We can help you. We got some tools. Why don't we talk about the projections tool? Because again, we're here to help you guys, to help show you guys the future. I can't make you do it, but we can show you a lot of the things. We can show you with evidence. We can show you with math. We can show you that the things that you're afraid of, or the risk or the fear, can be mitigated through some of the reps that we've taken with other clients, ourselves, and some of it's just rooted in logic. But we have a really cool tool that Zach developed. Why don't you tell them a little bit about it and kind of how they can get a hold of that if that is something that they want to dive into?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically like the Iron Circle. It has, access to it, and we haven't released it to the public, but we will with the Forge when we launch the Forge. It's just a model analysis. Yeah. So you can basically take your training model, plug it into what your schedule is, how many clients you can service, what your rates are, and then it tells you like your mac or your microeconomics of how much you're making for overall globally, and then each hour of your training based off of your model. So you can do some really in-depth analysis and see like, okay, if I just add, like I said, if you just add these 4 hours of training, you can see, the potential of that. I need 10 clients and I can make over 50 grand. I can add that to my business, 4 hours a week. Okay, that makes sense, right? Versus, and then you can compare versus my large group where I'm training this many and I'm charging this much, and you can just break it down. A part of that tool is like a schedule builder, right? So that's that's comes up so common. And I would add, like, if you guys are considering switching to semi-private training, don't just like wander around in the dark. I mean, we have this pretty much mapped out of like step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, from implementing it with your clients to, actually the program, philosophy and delivery on the training floor and all of that. We actually have videos that teach your coaches how to run semi-private training sessions. But the tool is kind of the starting point, because when you plug in, you see the financials, you see, okay, like this is the obvious way. Then once you recognize that, it's like, okay, this makes sense. How do I now go and execute on it? And that's it. It's just a roadmap there of like step 1, step 2, step 3, follow the process, and then you're there. And, you spent, let's say 90 days transitioning, to semi-private training, or not transitioning, but introducing it into your business. You're going to be making money that whole entire time. Maybe it takes you a month at most of no revenue till you then have 10 clients and you're, bringing that in. But 90 days probably to go from like, okay, this is an introductory service to now this is like a thing that we do. Now let's just like start transitioning. One of the
ironic things that, gym owners talk to us about all the time. They want to bring semi-private in, but they've got their business, and it's a good business as it is today. 2 things on that. Tim and I talk about all the time about the glass ceiling of the business itself, right? What is it going to take? I mean, everyone always says they want a 7-figure gym, right? Tim broke down his P&L and how we do it with 200 members. Use that tool that Zach's created. Jump in there in that program. You'll be able to lay out your business as it is today, max it out, see the potential of what your business as it is can actually create for you. If that doesn't have the ability to give you the income and the lifestyle that you want, you're in the wrong vehicle. That's the bottom line. And so that's the reason that we are so hell-bent on semi-private, is because this vehicle allows greater opportunity. Right? It's the difference of team training gyms is like having 4 dimes to make a dollar. Or excuse me, 10 dimes to make $1, right? Semi-private's like 4 quarters to make $1. So you're serving less, you're making more with those clients. You can give them better attention and individualized, attention. But again, it speaks to other aspects, retention strategies. Here in our gym, it's over 16 months is our average. Team training as of URSA 3 years ago was 3 months. So like all of these things, guys, you have to decide, is the juice worth the squeeze? Am I happy doing what I'm doing, delivering what I'm doing? Is it giving me the potential and the outcome that I deserve and I want from this business? And if not, consider something new. But with that being said, then don't let the fear of the unknown prevent you from taking action. We've got tools to mitigate those risks and those fears. We've got a tried and true system that we've put into place to help gyms bring this into their business. So ultimately, if you need help bringing semi-private in, we're here to help you. We're bringing out by the time you're listening to this, you might have access to the Forge. If we'll have the information in the show notes if it is available already, but if not, in the next week or so, that should be available. We also have our Business Accelerator program. We've dropped the cost on that down to $6,500. Originally, that was a $15,000 product. This is a system that's taken gyms from. David Bender was the first. He'll happily tell you. It took him 4 years to jump into that seat, and he was at the best year ever. He'd done about 275. He's on pace to do 800 this year. That type of results that are capable if you're in the right seat, in the right vehicle, and you've got the things that it takes to get you where you want to go. So if you need help, jump on a call. pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. Obviously, Zach's got a number of different things from the director position, both his book, Directing Fitness, Built to Deliver. That was the one I was trying to come up with. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, the new one coming out, Built to Deliver. We'll make sure that you guys have access to all of those things. But the path is in front of you guys. We have, the ability to help you if that's what you need. But it takes you in action in order to make it happen. So that's what we have for today's episode. Keep changing lives.
All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.